Hi everyone. Let's take a quick look at how we review Module B, or what is now referred to as 1-4 Assessment of Teaching and Learning. What you see on your screen right here is I've clicked on Section 2, November through January, and there's a reason that these are included, 1-4 particularly and 1-5. So what I've done is I've clicked on 1-4 Assessment of Teaching and Learning. We used to refer that as to Module B. It is the same. We have just named it 1-4 fact rather than Module B. Sorry. There is a discussion, and on this page you will note that there's a video and a discussion question. And so we want to remember that that's something that we need to review as well. 1-4 fact, assessment of teaching and learning. On this page we can definitely see a very clear description of the purpose and the expectations. When we click on the document itself, we're going to see that again. I have now clicked and returned to Section 2, November, January. One thing we quickly want to remember and look at is these are due together within very close time frames because they're all part of the data collection cycle for action research. These are the areas where we are specifically, and the PT is specifically focused upon their practice and assessing their practice based upon the CSTPs and induction standards. So that's what November through January in year one is specifically about. So here we have the discussion for 1-4. Here's 1-4 itself, or Module B. We then move right into the initial self-assessment based upon the CSTPs and standards 5 and 6, and then a discussion as well. So those are the areas that we as district leads are going to be reviewing between November and January. So let's go directly to 1-4 Assessment of Teaching and Learning, or Module B, as some of us old folks like to call it. Here we have our fact verification form. Very similar. You'll see there are 3 forms that we review during this piece. Again, the support provider reviews stating that they've reviewed not the documents, but even probably we would say most importantly, they've discussed it with their participating teacher and had those very deep conversations that are particularly involved in Module B. This is the second reviewer, and note that it also says I have reviewed and discussed the findings. So this is where our fact verification process comes in. Looks very similar. We either type our initials for accepted, or we type comments for please resubmit, we need more information. Our first piece of evidence or documentation is the KWO tool. This is where we ask the participating teachers to state very clearly and completely what they know about their teaching practice, what they want to know about their teaching practice, and what they want their support provider to observe. So what do we look for as we're likely that second reviewer? Typically, we are not familiar with the participating teacher, so it would be very difficult for us to be evaluative in terms of whether we agree or disagree with what they know, what they want to know, or what they are asking their support provider to observe. However, as district leads or secondary reviewers, we want to be able to clearly understand what the participating teacher knows or wants to know about their teaching practice. So what does that mean? It can be bulleted, it can be narrative. We really don't want to see jargon here because we aren't sure that we're all talking about the same thing. If they say, I know that I scaffold, I'm not sure that we really know what the participating teacher is referring to. We're hoping that our support providers have allowed our participating teachers to branch out from that so that on this document we're really getting an idea of what the participating teacher really believes occurs in their classroom. And this example is great. I create an environment of respect. That's very clearly stated. There's no jargon involved. Second example, students understand the routines and procedures in my class. So very direct, it's very specific what I know about my practice, what I want to know, same things. Again, it doesn't have to be a narrative, it can be straight bulleted points. We'd like to see 2 to 3 of what I know and what I want to know. what I want my support provider to observe, we hope that the support provider has worked with the participating teacher so that what the support provider is going to observe is either something that they've listed they know or something that they want to know. That's not required though. Again, what we're looking for is it clear to a person who's not familiar with the participating teacher and the support provider exactly what they know, exactly what they want to know, and what they want their support provider to observe. The second piece on our fact verification is the informal classroom observation, CSTPs, and induction. As you well know, this is what our support providers complete on behalf of the participating teachers. What does this mean? If the participating teachers have uploaded the observations completed by their support providers, they do not have control over this content. Therefore, as long as it is complete and uploaded, we need to mark the participating teacher as evidence is complete or accepted. However, by looking at this, this of course gives us insight as to any conversations we want to have with our support providers. So hopefully, this is our opportunity to really review what are the conversations we want or need to have with our support providers. Because observations will come up again in the inquiries, we want to take note, are we looking at summaries by our support providers, or are we looking at clearly documented evidence? Are time frames included? Are we looking at clear evidence provided by our support providers to our participating teachers? Does the information say, yes, the participating teacher shows equity for all students, or is evidence listed demonstrating equity for all students? So this is something that we will mark off as complete on the behalf of the participating teacher, but will provide us with information to help support our support providers as they move forward into the rest of the modules for fact. Post-observation reflection, once again, is it clear? This is based upon the observation, conversations with support provider. The first one we hope is based on observations and is a little bit more independent participating teacher reflection. But again, what are we looking for? We're looking for clarity. We would hope that we would have 3 or 4 key insights from the participating teacher, but once again, that depends upon how it's been presented to the support providers and participating teachers within your district. Here is the key evidence. What are the main pieces that the participating teacher has learned? And insights, where will they go from this point? What will they perhaps try to do in their next lesson plan? Again, these are bulleted points or a very short narrative. So if we let our fact verification form guide us, KWO, clear and complete description. Observation tool, this is the support providers. The PT's job is to include it in the haiku submission. Provide evidence of classroom practice. We want quotes, numbers, chunking. We want things that the participating teachers can specifically refer back to as things that happened within their classroom that was under the PT's control. Post-observation reflection refers back to the evidence of the observation. So when we review this, we're looking for clarity, completeness, and how these 3 tie together in order to support the participating teacher as they gather data about their practice.